Hello everybody, my name is Dan Cohen. I'm head physical therapist here at Kemtai. Today we will walk you through the Kemtai Care clinician dashboard. At the home screen, we see the overview panel of our clinician dashboard. Here we can see different metrics about our current patients in the clinic. You can notice that different areas have different numbers on them, which indicate the number of patients related to that specific area. For example, low adherence patients are patients which are continuing their exercise program, but they are doing that at a lower rate than what was recommended by their clinician. Currently, in our demo clinic, we have 8 such patients. We can click this button, Review Patients, to view those specific patients and what their status is. Inactive patients are patients that are missing either 1 week or more of training. Currently, in our demo clinic, we have 2 patients which are in that specific status. Not onboarded are patients who got the link to sign up to Kemtai Care as patients or users, but they did not open the link. We have 4 patients like that in our demo clinic. Protocols coming to an end are patients who have a program assigned to them, but that program will soon come to an end. We currently have 3 patients like that. New messages indicate messages that were sent by patients to any of our clinicians. We have some statistics about new users added this month and the amount of visits users have done this week and the previous week. We can also see the amount of active users we have in the clinic and their engagement and adherence. We'll talk about those in a little bit. Let's move on to the patient screen. When I click on patients, I'll get an overview of the patients in my clinic. I can see a list of all of my patients and all of the patients who are assigned to different therapists in my clinic. I can filter these patients or the patient list by clicking on any of the caregivers in my clinic. I can also search by patient name or email address. I can also use the filter tool by status to filter the patient list. The status we saw on the overview panel is exactly the same status we see here. So I can look at any of the active patients in my clinic, inactive patients, patients which did not start their session or their program yet, low adherence patients, patients who do not have a protocol assigned to them, patients who have a protocol assigned to them but the protocol is coming to an end, patients who have recently finished their protocol, this means that the protocol ended, and patients who got the sign-in link or sign-up link but did not sign up yet. To view any of the patient's additional details, we can click the patient's name. This takes us to the patient's profile. Here, we can see their contact details. We can message the patient using the application's messaging tool. We can view an overview calendar of the patient's activity. We can also view the protocols assigned to the patient and any protocols that were assigned in the past. Let's go over the patient profile, different areas. The messaging system in Kemtai Care is a system that can only be used while inside the application. This means that if you as a clinician send a message to your patient, those patients will receive a text message and an email message indicating that they have a new message from their clinician. In order for them to read the message, they will be prompted to log into the system and use the application to read any new messages. The same vice versa. If a patient sends you, as their clinician, any messages via Kemtai Care messaging system, you will get an indication via your email address that a new message is waiting for you from any of your patients. To view and respond to that message, you will have to sign in to the application. And we can see any sessions that that patient has completed by clicking on the specific session. This will take us to a replay window that will show us the skeleton of the patient while they were exercising, the amount of exercises completed, the duration of the workout, and the effectivity score. We can browse any of the exercises by clicking on the exercising drop-down menu. We can see the scores the patient has received, and we can view any cues that the patient has received from the system while doing the exercises. We will learn about protocol assignment and updating in a later part of this tutorial. Let's move on to protocol templates. A protocol is the way Kemtai organizes rehabilitation exercises for patients. Protocols can later be assigned to any patient or user. In the protocol templates list, we can see any protocols already created by any staff member of this specific clinic. We can also view any shared protocols that were created by other clinics but were assigned with visibility for all Kemtai Care users. In our own clinic, we can filter the protocols by clinician who created them or by typing in their protocol name. To create a new protocol, we click the plus button on the bottom right of the screen titled Add a New Protocol. The first step for creating a new protocol is to create a protocol name. Let's call this Test Protocol Training Video. We can share this protocol with other clinics or keep the protocol private, but remember that all the clinicians in your clinic will be able to view this protocol. Instead of creating a protocol from scratch, we can import from an existing protocol template. We can either import from any templates that we have in our own clinic or used protocols that were created by other clinics. For the sake of this training video, let's create a protocol from scratch. To start, we'll click on the plus button located on the bottom right screen. Notice the title of this button now has changed to Add a New Phase. When I click this button, a new phase is added to the protocol. Phases are the way Kemtai Care organizes rehabilitation and workout plans. A phase is a specific time frame and or amount of exercise sessions a patient must complete in order to move to the next phase of the same protocol. To add exercises to the current phase, we can browse the exercise library. If we want to browse the exercise library, we can use the filter tool to look for any specific exercises in Kemtai Care's system. Performer are different performers we have in the system. Once I click any of them, I'll be able to view exercises created by that performer. The conscious movement performer are various performers executing rehabilitation or physical therapy related exercises. The rest of the performers will show predominantly fitness-based exercises. The Condition tab allows us to search for exercises that are specific for certain conditions. These are of course Kemtai's suggestions, and you as a clinician have the final say whether to use those exercises or not. For example, clicking ankle sprain will pull up exercises Kemtai Care wants to suggest for any ankle sprain rehabilitation program. Body position will filter the exercises according to the specific body position chosen. If we click floor, we will see exercises completed while either lying down on the floor or on a bed. Muscle groups are different muscles which are activated in any specific exercise. Goals are different goals that can be associated with exercises. Movements are the main movements completed in any exercise. Joints, the main joint working in any specific exercise. Difficulty is the exercise difficulty. Under characteristics, we can filter by passive exercise, which also includes assisted active exercises, balance exercises for the lower limb or torso, and non-weight bearing exercises for the lower limb. We can also filter exercises using the equipment used in that exercise. To add any exercise to the current protocol, we simply click that exercise and click Select. The exercises will be imported to our phase. Keep in mind that a protocol template is not an assigned workout program to any specific patient, and you will be able to change the settings of any of the exercises once assigning them to a specific patient. You will notice we can change the specified repetitions for each of the exercises and also the time that is needed to complete any exercise for isometric exercises. The last thing that we will need to attend to while creating a protocol phase is the final phase condition, which means how many days need to pass until the phase is completed and how many sessions the patient must complete before moving on to the next phase. Please notice, both conditions have to be met in order to move on to the next phase. This means that if a patient has completed 3 consecutive days of exercising in a specific protocol phase, they will not be able to move to the next phase until 7 days have passed since the first assignment of the protocol phase. Also, any patient who has completed less than 3 sessions for any specific phase will have to complete another 2, even though more than 1 week has passed, before they move on to the next phase. A minimum of 1 week and 3 sessions are the default for each phase, and you can change them by writing any number you see fit in the lower part of a protocol phase. To add the next phase to the protocol, again we can click Add a new phase. Let's try importing a session this time. The sessions list are pre-made template sessions for various conditions. Here too we can click Shared Sessions. Let's choose ITBS Phase 2. I click the name of the session and click Select. My phase is automatically populated with exercises from the template session. Please note, I can either duplicate any of the exercises or remove the exercises from the protocol phase template. Again, I need to choose what the final conditions are to move to the next phase. If 2 phases for this protocol are enough, I can click Save Protocol. And the template will be added to my template list in the protocol templates area. Let's move on to exercise library. In the exercise library, we can actually browse any of the exercises Kemtai Care can use for motion tracking. Clicking on any of the exercises pulls up a screen with different information about the exercise and the ability to open preview for that specific exercise. Clicking the open preview will pull up the player, which means that you will be able to walk into frame and execute the exercise while receiving any cues specific to that exercise. Please notice, when the Record Me option is ticked, your video will be sent to Kemtai. This video will not be shared with anyone, but will be used to enhance user experience and create more accurate models for future exercises. In the exercise screen, we can also play the video to view the exercise itself. Viewing exercises in the exercise library does not enable us to add any of these exercises to any protocol or assign them to any patient. Please remember, this area is used only to view the exercises themselves. The filter tool in the exercise library is the exact same tool we saw earlier in protocol creation. Let's move on to patient creation. If I want to create or add a new patient to my clinic, I can click the Add New Patient button on the bottom right of the screen. Clicking the plus button opens a new pop-up window prompting me to enter the patient's name, last name, email address, and phone number. Please make sure you choose the relevant country code for the patient. After entering all the information, I can click Create, and a new patient will be added to my patient list. Let's create a new dummy patient. We'll call it Demo Training, and we'll enter any email. Here we have a new row with a new patient. After I click the patient, I notice that the patient is currently in a not onboarded status, since the sign-up link was sent to the patient immediately after creating the patient. But since the new patient has not signed up yet, his status remains not onboarded. I can assign a protocol to a patient by clicking the Assign Protocol button. First, I need to choose a name for the protocol. I need to choose a starting date for the protocol. And I need to choose whether I want automatic ordering of exercises or custom manual ordering of exercises. Automatic ordering of exercises simply means that the exercises order will be chosen automatically by the system. This is recommended in order to allow the patient to move naturally between different exercises with minimizing of position changes during the exercise session. To assign a protocol to a patient, I can click either Add a New Phase and then create a protocol from scratch, or import a protocol from protocol templates. Let's import the protocol we created earlier in the template protocol part. I click the protocol name, Test Protocol Training Video, and I click Select. I need to choose which side for two-sided exercises the protocol will display. If, for example, we have a left shoulder patient with some shoulder pain, we can choose either to display only the left-sided exercises for that specific patient or only the right-sided exercises if maybe the patient is currently in a cast or a brace. We can also choose use both sides for the entire protocol. For this specific demonstration, let's choose both sides. Please remember we're on automatic ordering of exercises. I click continue, and 2 of the phases from my template protocol will be imported to my current patient protocol. To view any exercises in any specific phase, we click the phase. Here I can see the exercises, the amount of reps that specific exercise will require, or the amount of time for any isometric exercises. I can view the phase conditions that have to be met to move to the next phase. I can duplicate or remove or change any of the exercise settings in any of the phases. If I want to choose the exercise order, I click the automatic ordering to off. Once it's off, I can drag any exercise to a different position in any of the phases. Once I'm satisfied, I can click Assign Protocol, or I can also continue on to add more phases by using the Add Phase button, adding exercises. Let's click Assign Protocol. Once I assign a protocol to a patient, his patient screen will change to show the current protocol with the protocol title, the number of sessions completed, the adherence, and any past protocols that were assigned to the patient from before. Another option to add patients is by using the Generate QR code. Clicking the Generate QR code takes us to a new window in which we need to specify the protocol that the new patients using that QR code will be assigned to. Using QR codes is an alternate way of adding new patients. Instead of having the clinician enter the name, email address, and phone number of the patient, QR codes allow the patients to add those details themselves. Once a patient scans a QR code, they are taken to an online registration form. After filling out the details, they are automatically added to the clinic and assigned with a protocol which is associated with that specific QR code. Using QR codes allows printing of physical handouts and handing them out to patients coming into the clinic. Each QR code is associated with a specific protocol, and patients scanning that QR code will always be assigned with the same protocol. Let's see how it works. First, we need to enter a name for the protocol which will be assigned to any patient using that QR code. Let's call it QR code protocol 1. We need to choose whether the automatic ordering is on or off. My suggestion for you is to leave it on. Let's add a protocol by using import session. Let's look for any shoulder protocols. We can use shoulder strength for phase 1. We'll choose both sides this time. And we'll add another phase for shoulder mobility. Once I'm satisfied with the phases and the exercises, I can click Generate. This will download a PDF file that looks like this. This file or page has different information for the patient and a QR code. This page in turn can either be printed as a physical handout for patients or sent by email or WhatsApp to any patients. Once a patient receives this file or handout, they can scan the QR code, complete the sign-up process by themselves, and after signing up, they will be automatically assigned with a protocol which we just created. Let's move on to the messaging system. If I want to view all the messages for any of the patients in my clinic, I click the inbox at the top right corner of the screen. Here, I can view any of the messages that were sent or received for any of the patients. The last part of the demonstration is the staff. Here I can view any of the clinicians in my current clinic, and I can add new clinicians or invite them to the clinic by clicking the plus button on the bottom right of the screen. Here I can enter the email addresses for specific users or clinicians I want to add, and I can choose their roles. A caregiver is a clinician in any specific clinic that will be able to view only their own patients. Clinic manager, on the other hand, is a clinician that will be able to view all of the patients in the clinic. Once I enter any email addresses and specify the roles for those email addresses, I click invite, and those clinicians will receive a sign-up link to their email addresses. This completes our tutorial of Kemtai Care Clinician Dashboard. If you have any technical difficulties or questions, please feel free to contact me at dan@kemtai.com. Thank you for using Kemtai Care, and good luck.